With that down, let's talk about this, shall we? Last night, or yesterday afternoon, I went to go see the new film 28 Years Later. And I'm not the biggest fan in the world of 28 Days and 28 Weeks. I like those movies, but it's like they're not in my top 10 favorite like horror genre films of all time. But still, I like the films. And this has looked great. Like the trailers for 28 Weeks Later have been great. And the reviews have been great. Like we talked on the show about how strong the reviews look, all that kind of stuff. And even right now, they hold a 91% critic rate, which has come down a little bit. But here's the interesting thing. Normally, like audience scores are quite high. The audience scores with it are significantly lower at 68%, which is kind of interesting. So anyway, I go off to go see the movie. And I gotta say, I did not love it. Now, I liked it, but it's also kind of a weird movie.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I've heard.
It feels like there are 2 or 3 different ideas they had for the movie. And instead of picking one, they decided kind of to try to merge them together. It reminded me a little bit, although in tone and feel it's a totally different thing, but that J.J. Abrams film about the alien on the train. 9mm. Was it 9mm? 18 millimeter?
8 millimeter. 8 millimeter is a different movie.
No, 16.
Super 8, Dave.
Super 8. That's what it is.
8,
yeah, 8mm is the Nick Cage one.
That's Kevin Walker and Nick Cage.
Very, very different movie.
Very
but
different
yeah,
movie.
it reminded me of like Super 8, which was like literally that. It was like they had 2 different ideas, didn't know which way to go, and then they said, well, let's make it both. And that's kind of what this is in many ways. Like, first of all, let me talk about like the good stuff. Number one, the tension in the film when there's stuff going on with Infected is awesome. By the way, Rob, I felt very justified because I keep saying like, guys, I know it's called Infected, but let's call what it is. It's a zombie movie. And people always get so mad. It's not a zombie movie.
It is.
In the movie?
It is a zombie movie. It's a zombie movie.
You know what they refer to them as in the movie? Zombies. They actually say it. They actually say it in the movie. Anyway, they also say infected a lot more, but I'm just throwing that out there. Anyway, so like everything that involved the infected zombies, whatever, was intense and great. There's a great chase scene that you see a little bit of a couple of clips of in a couple of the trailers where like you got Ricky Tikki Tacky, Aaron Taylor Johnson running across the bridge back to the island with his kid, and there's an infected chasing him, and like my heart was pounding in my chest, man. It was like boom, boom, like just watching the scene, like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Like, and so there are like 3 or 4 sequences in the movie that have like really awesome infected chase scenes that when those were happening, beautifully shot, cinematography in it really added to the tension. They did a great job with it. So that on that level, it's great. It's gory. Not as gory as I thought it would be. But yeah, when it decides to go gory, it's pretty gory. One of the other really interesting things about the movie is because it's 28 years later now, right? Well, the infected have evolved. Like they're different than they're a little bit different than what we've seen them before.
Are they less filled with rage?
No, they are still mad, man. They're as mad as the Snyder Bros that there's not a Man of Steel 2. They are so angry.
So they're not managing. They haven't gone to therapy.
No, they have not gone to anger management whatsoever. They are still very, very angry. And so the rage monsters, yeah, they're still basically rage monsters, but they have basically a subculture that has evolved, which it would over the years. And then they do a couple of really interesting little things. I will say this though, without going into any details, I feel like they retconned some major things about 28 weeks later. Like you're watching this movie and you're like, well, what about, wait a minute. And 28 weeks later, it's like, don't worry about it. So it is what it is, whatever. But I thought the way that they showed that the infected themselves have evolved was actually pretty damn cool, and I like that. And a little bit of what we're familiar with in something like The Last of Us, where you got your regular zombies and then you got your clickers. Well, now the infected have the alphas, which has kind of been alluded to before. But so that was all really interesting. Also, I got to say, the performances, top to bottom, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I got to point out this kid who, when you see the trailers, you think Aaron Taylor Johnson's the lead in the film. Or you might think greatest actor on the planet who doesn't have an Academy Award right now, Ralph Fiennes, is the lead. This kid's the lead of the movie. It's not up for debate. He's the lead of the film. The movie revolves around him, and he's great. The kid's wonderful. Like, at first I thought, it's a little cheesy, but as the movie progressed, I'm like, holy crap, this kid is selling me on everything. Also, Aaron Taylor Johnson, or as somebody in the live chat just called him, wait a second, where did it go? Oh yeah, there it is. Clicky ticky tacky. I like that. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Pretty good.
Is great in it. Jodie Comer as the kid's mom is fantastic in it. And I know he's going to play a more major role in the next film, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. And he's just a supporting character in this one. But dear God, Ralph Fiennes, once he shows up in the movie, he kind of steals every scene he's in. And he's just fantastic. So the infected, fantastic. The tension and the chases, wonderful. Performances are great. But then some things happen. Like, they make some really weird creative decisions, which, Danny Boyle will do sometimes. I mean, Danny Boyle is not afraid to gamble and roll the dice and take chances, which is one of the reasons we love him so much. But sometimes when you take chances, sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. They started doing this really weird kind of art house kind of thing where, like, they would intercut, as kids and people on the island were practicing their archery, they would intercut with like movies from the 60s of old the King's British soldiers doing archery. And like, they do this weird intercutting thing that I understood was supposed to be symbolic of something, but it wasn't effective. And they did that a lot through the movie. Also, I found the movie meandered a lot.
Wow, okay.
It would kind of, this would be happening, and why? Well, because it is. Then there would be these scenes, like without giving anything away as to context, there's this big celebration scene happening in the first act of the film, and it just kind of drags. And it's like, okay, yeah, we get it. And it kind of drags. Also, they didn't spend time on things that I was really most interested about. I started to find myself really interested about this island that they live on. How did this society and culture evolve, and a little bit more about the people on it and all that kind of stuff, I thought would have been kind of good. And it's just that for a lot of the film, when there's not these great chase scenes going on and these great infected scenes going on, it just kind of meanders a bit. And then, Rob, I think what you're going to hear a lot of people talking about, it's got a really weird ending, man. It's got a really weird ending that you're getting right close to the end of the film. And this, like, the last 5, 6, 7 minutes of it kind of happen, and it doesn't even feel like it's from the same movie, like, at all. Like, for 2 hours, this movie had been this gritty horror, psychological thriller, even a little bit philosophical and all this kind of stuff. And then didn't you get to the last 7 minutes? And it's Scott Pilgrim versus the World, or Peacemaker. What? Yeah. And then it kind of becomes Scott Pilgrim versus the World / Peacemaker. It just becomes like, it's just this thing. I don't want to give it away, but this thing happens where it's like, this does not feel like the same movie at all. Somebody in the live chat just said this, Datode and Datode is right. Somebody called it a Power Rangers ending. Yeah, it was just weird, man. It was just a weird
I don't know
way
what that means. I'm seeing it tonight at 6:30.
Yeah, it was just a weird way to end it off. Again, listen, it's not a bad film. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a bad film. I just feel like it's a good movie. It's a decent film that had all the pieces and all the elements to be like an awesome film were there. And that is why, even though I'm not jumping up and down excited about this movie, I'm actually very intrigued still about Bone Temple because all the pieces are there, right? They have all the elements, they have everything they need, and they've even touched on them. And if they can lean into those strengths, clean up some of their chances and the risks that they took that didn't quite work, Bone Temple could be really exceptional because the Bone Temple itself is introduced in this movie. And again, we're going to get more Ralph Fiennes in the second film. I just feel like they're set up for a solid future here with this next movie coming in January. I just felt like when this movie ended, Rob, I felt like it could have been more. We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Stitch Fix. Guys, you know I love movies, but you also know I have absolutely no fashion sense, and I absolutely hate shopping for my clothes. But thankfully, I have found a better way. Stitch Fix online personal styling makes it easy. With Stitch Fix, I get a stylist who understands my style, size, and budget, and they do all the shopping for me. Because look, shopping and figuring out style can be overwhelming, especially for somebody like me. When it comes to getting dressed, I don't even know where to start, to be honest. That's why I love having a Stitch Fix stylist. They really know what works for me. I get pieces that make me look great, and it's a real confidence boost. You just give your stylist your size, style, and budget preferences. You get to order boxes when you want and how you want, no subscription required. They send you personalized pieces, and the fit is always on point. No stores, no crowds, no stress. Just personalized looks that you will love. So guys, make style easy. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Campea. That's stitchfix.com/Campea. What have you been hearing about it so far, and where's your expectation level right now?
Look, my friend in exhibition saw it and was a little perplexed by it. And it's really interesting. He said that it didn't feel like a movie as much as it felt like the beginning of a TV series or part of a. And
I didn't think of it that way, but that's not inaccurate.
Yeah, and they mentioned Garland and Danny Boyle talked about thinking of it as television, and that's pretty interesting. I mean, look, I'm a huge fan of Danny Boyle's work. He's done so many great things that I've loved, from Trainspotting. I think Trainspotting 2 is one of the great unsung sequels ever made. I mean, you have to like Trainspotting to think that, but
the sequel is really good.
It's really good, and you
it
watch
never
it
really
again.
Got the love or attention that it really deserved.
No, it got no attention. No one went and saw it. I saw it in a theater because I love the original film, and I thought as a sequel to that film, showing what happened with those characters, it really resonated with me. But you know, he's such a diverse filmmaker, going from The Beach or Sunshine or Shallow Grave to just this, and it's really interesting to see where it comes from. So, but I've heard it's I mean, I've read a lot of the reviews, especially a lot of people in the horror community aren't digging it, which I thought was interesting. And yeah, I don't know, man. I'm going to see it tonight on a really great on Harkins CineX screen. So it's a gigantic screen with a great sound system. It's their equivalent, I guess, of Dolby. I'm looking forward to seeing it because I really did like the first two movies.
Yeah, I'm again, when I texted you as soon as I came out of it. So I'm sad that you haven't seen it because I'm really dying to know.
I didn't love it, but you said Anne liked it more.
Yeah, Anne, actually, it's funny because we were talking about it afterwards, and my wife Anne, who has not seen the first two movies, really liked it. Like, she liked it significantly more than I did. So, I mean, it's not like her favorite film of the year, but she liked it a lot, and she didn't even see the first two installments. So it's kind of interesting. I'm going to be dying to know what you think about it when you see it. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I like it. I think it's worth seeing. It's got some amazing elements to it. But then overall as a package, I just felt like it had more potential. Anyway, have you guys seen it so far? If so, what did you think of it? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.